So, today was a pretty tough counseling session. It was really productive because I'm all stirred up emotionally and but Dr. F, she pulled out something that made me kind of, I don't know, make things make sense, but at the same time it kind of hurt, but not like in a bad way. It's more like when you lance an abscess and that stuff is coming out. That's what's happening to me emotionally right now. Sorry, excuse me. But I laid out a lot of things that were really, really personal, so I'm not gonna detail them too much. But one thing that I did point out was that that I've always been disabled. I've always been autistic. I see it as a disability, so if you don't and you don't agree with that, I don't want to hear it right now. This is not what that's about. I have always been disabled. I have never been neurotypical. I have never been anything but who and what I am. And my dad, because of the Parkinson's, spent most of his life able-bodied, and then he became disabled by the Parkinson's disease. Okay, you follow? When my dad is having a hard time with something, when he's struggling or he can't do something, people rush in to help him. They rush in and be like, it's okay, I got it. And I spent most of my life hearing, when I couldn't do something, I got told, well, figure it out, or you can do it, or you're not trying. And try not to panic here. But I just spent my whole life basically being stomped to the ground while he's just being lifted up like he's some kind of a king. And it's almost like it's a fault line. It's like the San Andreas fault, where there's this pressure that's never, unlike the San Andreas fault, I don't think this pressure is ever going to release to create that earthquake. That relief of pressure, that earthquake that would just break all this tension. Because me and my dad, we don't communicate, and we can't communicate this. There's no way to communicate this in a way that everybody can understand. But part of it is letting go of fear, like that other video I made a while back about letting go of fear and having to accept that it's not gonna be fair. But Dr. F, when I was telling her these things on the phone, and I told her, I just feel like I just don't matter so much. And she said, but you do, and the fact that you still want to stand up for yourself means that you still have a fight in you, that there's still fight in you, and that's why you keep, standing up to your dad and stuff like that. And there is also, there's stuff my dad does that just, it's like he's allowed to just be completely self-unaware and nobody will sniff at him about it. But anytime I would have a moment where I'm not self-aware and I might be doing something that I don't know is an affront to someone else, I would get pounced on about it. I would get yelled at and told what a terrible person I am and stuff like that. And then my dad can just do this. There's a couple things, but there's one that just bothers me so much, but I don't want to talk about it because it would be embarrassing for him, and I don't want to embarrass him because it's something he kind of cannot help, but at the same time he can do something about it when it's brought to his attention. And but the fact that he is allowed to just let that happen, and people are just so polite about it. Whereas when I have a moment where my self-unawareness as a parent, because with me it's my face and expressions, and I can see myself on my camera right now, so I know what my face is doing, but without the camera there, I don't. It's hard to explain. But my expressions don't always reflect what's going on, but right now it kind of does. But when I'm not watching my face, I don't have a mental picture of it. So my whole life I've grown up with people interpreting my facial expressions completely wrong. And then I would get accused of lying when I would try to say that's not what I'm feeling, I actually feel this. But it's very much an autism thing. Our facial expressions, a lot of us have facial expressions that are different and utilized differently than neurotypicals. My dad would always take it at, pardon the pun, face value. And now this thing he's doing is something that bothers me because it's a matter of dignity as well. And it's like he has so little dignity already because of how disabled he is by the Parkinson's, and it's like I can see how low his self-esteem is, so it's like I'm trying to protect this one thing for him. You know, it's like I'm trying to protect this one thing for him. And he gets mad at me for pointing it out when it's something he can fix. And, you know, my mom can ignore it, but she's his wife. I'm his daughter. I don't want to see that. And he's not doing it on purpose. But I still feel obligated to point it out and be like, you need to put that, you need to do something about that. And, you know, and I have to be polite, because if I'm rude about it, that doesn't solve anything. But I grew up with people being rude to me about those things, about things my face does that I'm not aware of completely, or that I'm feeling one thing and my face seems to be expressing in what neurotypicals think is something else. Like, if I'm confused, sometimes I can look angry because I kind of go, when I'm confused, and people will be like, what are you mad about? And it's like, I'm not mad, I'm confused. And they're like, no, you're mad. When I'm mad, my eyes tend to get kind of big, or it feels like my eyes are like swelling in size when I'm mad, so I don't know. But it's just that feeling of like he gets all the sympathy and empathy and I'm just left to the side. And I don't know if this is making any sense, but it's really painful. It's really painful. But Dr. F saw this in me, and she took all this babble that I gave her, and she said, well, it sounds like you feel like you're not getting the empathy, and he is, and it's like, that's exactly what it is. It's that feeling of, this is not fair. Why is he allowed to be disabled and I'm not? That's basically what it is I'm not allowed to show that I am disabled, but everybody cares about it that he is. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm just really shaken up. But it's important when I am, because that means I found something else to work on. This is another piece that I've picked up off the floor after I took myself apart. This is another piece of this that I'm doing, and I'm alright. I'm just dealing with this and putting it back together in a different way with a different picture so that I can see it more clearly. But God, it's hard and it's scary and it's just, but if you need it, you've got to do it. You have to do this if you need it, because otherwise these feelings just fester and fester and fester, and they come out in such unhealthy ways, and you're better than that. We're all better than that. God, it was hard today, but it was worth it. I love you.